Blah. Completely forgot what to do there. Herbie just keeps going. Always. I know, I know. I am very happy about it. The one thing that's actually, it's good enough that it actually throws me off a little bit, because I did so many music runs prepping for GDQ that, like, I'm expecting to hear jingles at certain points in the music, like, especially during the intro, and I'm just not hearing it, and I'm like, wait, something wrong? Oh, wait, yes, something is, quote-unquote, wrong. Ooh, that could be fun. Quiet's nice. Minus speed is not amazing, but it's plus special attack is very good. I mean, for my personal sake, I wouldn't focus too much on it, but I understand wanting a more complete. Yeah, exactly, Nick, right? Minus speed matters for, like, very few things. Oh, I got the encounter. I'm like, why am I not talking to her? Nice. Okay. Correct, Ranger. Basically, all item jingles and level up jingles and fanfare for beating gym leaders and stuff all counts as music. So when you have music turned all the way off, they just never get played. Which means the game doesn't wait for them to finish. And so normally what we do is we play random music in the background while we're doing runs. Sometimes, like, I usually use, like, at least Pokemon music, but it's not usually the actual, like, soundtrack. However, Fury in the chat created a tool that will detect where you are and play the correct music. So I do have the music in the game turned off, but we're hearing the mostly correct theme at any given time. It's a little bit, not jarring. There's no, like, meshing of the musics like there is in the game, but, like, it's so much better than it used to be. It's a game that was made, true. I actually like BDSP. I think it is fun. Oh boy, I have a Discord ping. Great. Thanks, May. No. Almost everyone you see playing it is going to be on actual console. Switch, at least for speedrunning, Switch emulators are not good enough. There may come a day where it is, but for now it is not. One thing that is kind of cool is because this game is written in Unity, it's actually very easy to mod. And so I think you'll find that actually a decent amount of people have or will play this on emulator because of, like, the modding. It's just easier to play mods on emulator than it is on console. But yeah, for speedrunning, it's not allowed. Oh, Lord. I can only imagine. Oh, no. This is actually a good Chimchar. I don't want this to be ruined by encounters. Nice crit. It's not consistent, but I will say the first time you are able to be killed by the Starly, I swear it's like 90% to Growl. What's up? Oh, congrats on your May sub. Alright, so I'm definitely going to be slower than the Piplup. Slower than the Piplup's actually not a bad thing. It means you get knocked into Blaze more often. Like, you're able to get Blaze hits off more often, because you can get knocked into Blaze on a turn, instead of potentially being in Blaze and having to heal out of it. Not in Blaze, but if I get attacked, I am. I got Burn. Both the Burn and the High Roll was really good. Well, the Burn or the High Roll would have been good. The fact that I got both is overkill. Alright, 3 to here. Hey, thank you for the good luck. I appreciate it. Definitely need it today. Today has not been a good day of runs. X items are super powerful. In Generation 7 and up, one single X item doubles your stat. Like, from base. Which is just wild. Yeah, they were already great. Hi, Kirby. Cal isn't here. Cal's laying with Jess, who also isn't here. Alright, let's see if I can get a god fight. We want to see... Okay, here's what we want. We want all Growls from the Starly. Heck, it didn't happen. Growl there is good. Alright, so I'm going to be at 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. 7 is Blaze. And, alright, so 7's not only Blaze, but 7 is Blaze, and I can survive another hit. Best case is Burn here. Okay. Best case is burn here. Burn basically before I get attacked again would be really nice. Darn. After 3 growls, it's probably not going to growl again. As I say, now the burn would just be really, like, mean, because I have to heal, because burn does 2. Or, an attack still does 2. Whatever, I still got a lot of blaze hits in, so this is not a bad fight overall. Could have been worse. That's the best way to put it. If I didn't get all those blaze hits in, it could have been worse. Earbuds are falling out. Kind of deserve it. I've been getting lucky with my Machops lately. Alright, I don't need 2 in a row. 1 more, I'll reset. Six is good. Definitely take those. Okay. Nice. Okay, we take that. Whew. Warbird Mine is always so stressful because of all the encounters that you can get. Yo, congrats, Draco. I still haven't beaten it casually. I obviously have beaten it a few times, speedrunning, but I've never beaten it casually. So that's pretty cool. Come on. Get the crit. Get the crit this turn. Oh my. That's one way to do it, I suppose. Oh, I didn't get any crits on the Geodude. It's 1 in 16. Right, because it'd be 2 to the 4. Nice. Take that. I'm at half health. I should heal. I honestly don't remember, like, a ton of my big time save opportunities. I think I can save some time near Sphere Pillar, but not, like... I want to say I can save some time on M and J. I think I can save time on Byron. I don't remember a lot of my run, to be quite honest. Oh, you know one thing I remember? I got killed. Lake Verity. So, what's it called? The Mars 2 split. I can save time there. I can save almost a minute there. There are other places as well, but that's just one place I just immediately remembered. Oh, that was just a natural crit. Okay. You're not gonna potion at 1 health? Rourke, you madman. Honestly, skipping the grinding, I totally respect it. Good. All right, we take this. Oh yeah, we definitely take this Rourke split. I just looked over at the time. All right, so this was like 6 encounters. This was not a good Rourke split, but I had an amazing fight. Like, that was 3rd encounter Machop. First ball, 0 in the mine. And that was the gold. I'll take it. I'd seriously consider resetting when I was looking for Machop. I need to figure out the right way to mash shopping menus. T-Pat, thank you. Evie thanks you as well. Of course she is. It's what she lives for. No. Thankfully, it does not. Exactly. I also don't believe it does the contest hall, so you actually get to hear even more of Heart Home. Downside is you don't get to hear contests, but Heart Home's better anyways. Hey, Wartab, thanks for the good luck. Yeah, exactly. The speed is garbage tier. Definitely outsped by... Definitely outsped by Pachirisu. Definitely outsped by the Glameow. Not what I wanted to do, but it's fine. At least I only have... With music off, that's only like a half a second time loss. I don't know if you all caught that. On my monitor, my capture card just like fucked up. It had like black lines across. It wasn't like... It was like weird. It wasn't like intrusive. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Wartab. Any percent was good. I'm glad it went as well as it did. I was 99% sure I fucked up the movement and was gonna soft lock and have to load a backup save. But luckily I did not. Yeah, I love watching the runs back with Twitch chat because it's moments like that are great. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. I haven't finished watching the Glitchless run with Twitch chat yet. I just finished Faulkner. I need to finish the rest of that probably tomorrow. Alright, so we're definitely slower than the Glameow. Really? Interesting. Oh, this is the slow fight. If I get scratched this turn, though, never lucky. That's really funny. Wait, I just noticed. Did I miss a Prime sub? Wombats, I'm sorry. Thank you for the Prime sub. It was like 20 minutes ago. I was secretly happy that the stickers, we didn't get enough money for stickers. So I was like, I legitimately don't know how to put stickers on right now. I also, like, I knew the run was decent because I didn't have any deaths. But 340 with 0 deaths was actually a little bit tighter than I was expecting it to be. With 0 deaths, I would have expected somewhere around like a 337 to a 338. So like, I'm glad I did the messing around I did like in Fantina's gym, but I'm glad I didn't do too much, because if something did go wrong on Cyrus and I had to do an 8-minute reset, I actually would have been really close to estimate. I mean, in general, you play slower on stage because, like, you're doing more talking, which means you're doing less thinking, which means, you know, you've got a... Nickname takes a while. There was the little bit of messing around. There was the repel stuff. So, like, a 340 isn't unreasonable. It's just a little worse than I was expecting. That's a crit, yeah. Good. Well, like, I have a 329 with 1 optional? 2 optionals, I think? I think it was a 329 with music on with 2 optionals. So, like, a 340 is actually a little bit... They did, yes. Yeah, I want to... You know that I hit the etchy spinner. I think I hit a second one too, but I know I hit the etchy spinner on my 329. Hey, Joanna. How's it going? Nothing is, like, unreasonable about it. as far as I know, Wartab. There are some sections of the run, like I tend not to watch full runs, but what I do is like a segment by segment comparison, like in a spreadsheet. My gold for Maylene is like a minute off of that one, and I have no idea where I'm losing as much time as I am from Gardenia to Maylene. Some of his menus are very good, yeah. Like, so I do the weird stuff he does in Eterna Galactic HQ, Eterna Galactic Building, whatever the hell it's called, where he does like the party swaps. I can't do the party swaps nearly as fast as he can get it. That's a crit? I think this kills. Yeah, because a crit should do the same as a +1 attack, roughly. Nice 2-turn Pachirisu. Yeah, Fury made it. Fury's in the chat. I was gonna say, I'm gonna be slower than the other Abra, so I'm gonna have to Mach Punch on this fight. And it looks like I'm gonna need help from the Chansey to do it. I mean, it's certainly possible. Come on, get the kill. Damn. Yeah, I want to say I'm something like 45 seconds ahead of him at Gardenia on my PB, and my Maylene is like over a minute behind his. I lose so much time in that section, and I don't really know why. I just haven't looked at it enough, though. But I also know it's not something like it's just me. Like I've also compared against like Crafted's run, and it's like I'm like roughly on pace with that run. But Ringo's for that section is just stupid. And it's like we're doing I've checked all the fights. All the fights that I do are the same as what Ringo does. So it's something out of battle. I just don't know. Yeah, Buster's intro, like the intro from the BDSP any % runs is disgusting as well. I think they just have mastered this awkward ass mashing, and we just haven't. Yo, what's up, Josh? How's it going? Hey, Josh. Should you bring the rose? Oh boy. Congrats on the date. I don't know. That's an interesting idea. All right, I don't like going into this next fight without probably not go well. Yeah. You have a good time. So my special attack is pretty good. I'm hoping I hit at least one of these stupid badoos. Thanks for the good luck. Oh, Emma PB today? That's awesome. I saw Emma was doing runs, but I didn't see the end of the run. Okay. I'll take the first one. Now the first one is harder to KO than the second one. She bought me, damn it. Nice. Okay, I'll take that. Well, would have been better to get the crit on the next one, but... You know what? I'm happy with people bopping me in XY because I know my PB is like basically sub 4. So anytime anybody bops me, it's like, hey, congrats on sub 4. I know. I will be back at Kalos at some point. Sinnoh is calling to me for now. Whoops. I don't know. I probably won't get to it until August at the earliest. Just got other stuff I want to do first. Galar sucks. I have 35 attack again? I want to go for the 10 and 16. I have to equip the cherry berry, so I have to menu anyways. I have to menu because of that anyways, too. I probably won't take it very seriously, to be quite honest. I will try to put up good times in at least a couple games, but there's no way in hell I'm learning all 4, or doing all 4, I should say. Distortions, most likely. I just have other stuff I want to work on first. Not really, Jordan, no. I guess I'll play it safe. Yeah, a combination of me, my 3DS not liking my hands, and me having other plans before Scarlet Violet. I don't think I'll be able to do all 4 games. No, because I wouldn't be getting it. The whole point of the competition is to try and improve records and PBs and stuff. Literally the point of it. So one thing that is a concern, I don't think I will get to see my stats again. I'm going to be slower than Skuntank, which can be really good, but can also be bad. Darn. Probably. But no, it can be good because I can get knocked into Blaze and potentially 3-shot if I don't normally 3-shot. Which, with this attack, I'm not normally 3-shotting. It probably won't happen, but... I want to experiment a lot with this Mars fight. Or not Mars, Jupiter. Because I think trying to bait Blaze is totally a viable strategy. It's just a bit inconsistent because the AI is kind of weird. Sometimes it poison gases on the switch turn, sometimes it doesn't. RC, thanks for the 36 months. 3 years. Thank you very much for the resub. Oh, I didn't even check my speed. Oh, nice, Drago. Glad you got that all figured out. I think Distortions would have been the right call. But GTS totally works. Oh, nice. Sure. Please, thank you. That did a little bit less. Fine. And I live. I get outsped and I still live after Aftermath, which is cool. $52, okay. Run is still very good. Mach Punch probably wouldn't have killed, I don't think. Hey, Megapixel, how's it going? Yeah, I did not expect Mach Punch to kill, which is why I did not do it. It probably could have, but I wanted to play it safe. Because I knew I would live another hit. I wasn't confident I would live another hit plus poison ticks. So if I miss the range and then get the poison ticks, I would be dead. Well, I would have won the fight, but I would have been dead from Aftermath, which is just slower. Yeah, 702 rival split. It's really good. Man, this was just like the run of the early golds, huh? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I actually didn't catch many runs. I have a bunch on my list that I want to go back and watch. All right, so all right. That was very risky, but oh, you did, Madman Phil? Well, it is up on YouTube if you want to go catch it. Oh, the Yakuza run? I didn't get to see a lot of it. But Yakuza was actually the last run that I set up on my first day. Which was pretty cool. Well, that's the fastest I've ever been through that section, I'll tell you that much. I think it's a big deal. Agreed, Relaya. I think it's a big deal for two main reasons. The first is probably the bigger one, is the fact that it was a donation incentive. And so people donated for something specifically, and that's not what they received. And I think that's probably the biggest reason. Yeah. Like, I think if it's not a donation incentive, they can get away with, like, a quiet ban. But because it was, like, people donated X amount of money for this specific thing that didn't happen, I think it becomes a bigger deal. The Metal Gear Rising run. Really? I'm in kill range. Why are you not killing me? Because that's an agreed upon thing ahead of time. This is you saying you're doing one thing and then doing another. Salve Theron, thank you for the 10 months. I really appreciate it. Like, it's about the expectation. There's nothing wrong with using a backup save or a backup cartridge or whatever. The problem is more saying you're doing one thing and then doing something else. I don't know if he acted like he got record. I know there was at least one point where he took his hand off the mouse, which was like currently panning the camera, and said that, like, played it off like, oh, I was using the mouse with my left hand. Like, he tried to play it off like he was playing the game. Yeah, that was that run. Like, I didn't watch the run in its entirety or anything, so I don't know a lot of the details, but I did see that clip. Yeah, it's sort of like it's an unfortunate situation, yeah. Like I think things like that are completely okay as long as everybody is aware of what is happening. Yeah, and like I said, like those kinds of pre-recorded things are fine. I was gonna not do the stealth rock stuff this run. I guess I'm doing it. Optimally, it's the same amount of turns, Wartab, but yeah, I was gonna not do it this run. That's unfortunate. Good. It changed. Now, I know I can get sub 320 playing safely. So I kind of want to just get it at all costs. Like, I don't care how sub 320 it is. I just want a sub 320. And then I'll move on to Brilliant Diamond. Sub 318 would be cool. And definitely doable, but... I mean, for reference, Turbo loses time, and my Turbo time is a 3:18:31 with a death. So it should be beatable. I got carried by a very good start, though, on my PB. Yes. The way turbo mashes is slower than if you mash correctly. I believe he skips Dragon Pulse, yeah. It really is, though. Come on, eat my inputs. Or I should say, don't eat my inputs. But yeah, so I'll explain the mashing in a second. All right, so basically the way mashing works, so in Sword and Shield, the way that mashing works is if you're holding down a button, text moves twice as fast, and you can mash. There are 4 buttons you can mash or hold to advance text. So the optimal way to mash is to hold one button and mash the other 3. And so you are your speed in mashing is how fast are you mashing the other 3 buttons, basically. In this game, text moves twice as fast if you're holding one of the buttons, as long as you started pressing that button during the text box and didn't stop pressing any of the buttons during the text box. And so what that means is, as you turbo, you press a button and let go, so you are constantly giving yourself half the text box speed by holding down a turbo button. Whereas if you are mashing a little bit slower but more precise, you can hold down the button for longer and give yourself more time with the double text speed. And that's why if you watch the GDQ run, it looks like I'm mashing like a lunatic. That's basically why. Because I'm mashing slower, but I'm allowing the button to be held down for longer before I let go. Correct, it does not. It'll go in bursts. Like it'll speed up, slow down, and it's like every other character almost. But it's not enough. Like you are better off mashing the way that I was doing in GDQ. Hey, comrade. Glad you enjoyed the GDQ run. Even if you... Well, I don't know about dropping the frequency. When I did the turbo, I did it at 10 hertz, because 10 hertz is slower than I mash. But I know at least at 10, it's noticeably slower for me. My controller can do 5 hertz, but I actually haven't tested it. I'm afraid to hit up again. All right, we're fine. 5 might be better than 10, to be quite honest. But yeah, so the way that I'm mashing is I'm trying to press one button and then let go of it before I press the other button. So you'll notice I'm hitting like ZL, ZR alternating, right? Because the problem is, if you hit ZL and hold it, and then hit ZR, and then let go of ZL, even though you're still holding a button, you just lost your fast text speed. Because you have let go of a button during the text box. I know, Wartab. We wanted to do math as the bit because it was so hard to read. Like, that was the point, was make it as difficult as possible to read. I mean, I definitely learned from the document, but I'll be quite honest, I don't know every spinner's zones. I just know the rough, I know how the zones work, and I just walk near them. I don't know exactly where the zones, like, start or end. But I just know that the diagonal overlap always goes to a horizontal direction. What fights are monk-ass in this game? The one we were just in is one. This fight is annoying, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad. The next really bad fight is the Wake fight. Next gym leader. Was seeing behind the scenes. Yeah. They have one of the coolest things. It was a little bit, not buggy, but like it was having a little bit of issues on my first tech shift. But they have like one of the coolest pieces of hardware, software, I don't know what you want to call it, that I've ever seen for an event like that. So, as you can imagine, they have consoles from a million different eras of gaming. And they obviously have different TVs and stuff. And the way that you basically tell it, so there are 4 inputs for SCART, which is like for older consoles. There are 4 inputs for component cables. So think of like GameCube. There are 4 HDMI inputs, and there were 2 PCs. And then they have 4 CRTs on stage, 4 LCD TVs on stage, as well as 4 potential stream inputs. And they literally have a tablet that you go, all right, SCART 1 to TV 1, SCART 2 to TV 2. And it's like, just drag and drop, and it does everything for you. It's like one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen when it comes to that kind of tech. That I don't know, Wartem. No, come on. I did that menu 100% incorrectly. It's fine though. I don't know if there were any DS or 3DS runs this year. I know there were none during my shift. I had a couple of PC runs. I had a Genesis run and 3 GameCube games? Or a Game Boy player, so they were GameCube setups. Oh, I had an NES setup as well. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really, like... Yeah, it was just really cool. The only issue I ran into was I must have missed like a step in the orientation that I had. But like basically every job before a run can start, every job has like a verbal checklist. They have to tell the like the person running the stream, they have to tell them like, yes, I'm done with my 4 things. And I like just didn't do that on my first run, and they were like, who's the stage tech? I'm like, me. And they're like, you gotta tell us. And I'm like, okay. And then that was like the issue. Oh, wait, this way. Come on, spin. Thank you. Yeah, it's actually really cool because it's the software they use to like start the run, start the timer, all that stuff. You literally can't progress unless everyone's checkbox is done. So it's not even like the stream tech could be like, oh, I forgot to ask if the stage tech was done. It's like, it literally will not let you click the button to start the timer until that stuff is checked off. Thank you. Oh, yeah, this was really funny. The orientation told you what to do if everything went right, and Ray was basically like, all right, and if anything goes wrong, call for help. Like, if you think it's a 2-minute fix, give it a try. If it's more than 2 minutes, literally call somebody else. Hey, Zero Blade Edge. Thanks for the good luck. But yeah, it was fun. I really want to try. I really want to do it again. I liked my job. The only complaint, not even a complaint, but the only like issue I had with it was it was a lot of work in between runs, and then you did nothing during a run. And so like I set up for the Yakuza run, and I had about an hour left in my shift, and I like just didn't do anything for the last hour because my run was already set up, and that run was 4 hours long. Back to learning Chrono Cross. Nice. Good luck with that. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't think I was the cause of any delays. Almost all of the changes that we had to make almost all of the like run transitions I had to do had interviews or prize segments in between as well. So like the setup would be done with like 5 or 10 minutes to spare because they were still doing the prize or interview thing. Yeah, they basically had us do, it was 4-hour shifts. So my shifts were like 11 to 3. And then at 3 o'clock, somebody would come on and take over for me. I got to set up for Kirby's run. Kirby Master's run. Oh my god, this is like the worst time for an X. Can I snooze it? I can. There you go. I'm never on that menu here. Nice. Kaza. I'm still gonna say Kaza. I don't care what Keys says. Nice. I was very confused because the Kadabra's speed fell text box came up, and for some reason I thought it was a crit text box, and I saw the HP beforehand. I was like, I didn't get crit. What is this text box for? Fucking bungeed with the Katza. Like pizza. Damn, look at this split. How'd I save 15 seconds over gold? I even messed up the I have no idea how I saved 15 seconds over my gold split on that. Should have done a potion. I did it again. I've made this mistake once before, and it loses a shitload of time. Like, actually a shitload of time. So upset. Loses actually like 20 seconds. That's a cool ass animation. All right, leaving animations on. Let's go. This is actually so many animations. Oh my god. god. I don't know how I make that mistake. I've made that mistake twice now. Go straight up through me, please. Don't go around. Just, oh, the worst. That was a little risky, but I, like, was very mad at the mistake I made. So the way that happened was as I was going down. So when I go down in menus like that, typically what I do is I double input on my way down. So I do down on the D-pad, down on the stick, down on the D-pad, down on the stick, alternating. Until I get to where I need to. And so the battle style is 3 down. So I go down on the D-pad, down on the stick, down on the D-pad. What likely happened was when I went down on the D-pad, down on the stick, I also hit right on the stick, and then hit down on the D-pad, and then hit right. So that's probably what happened there. It's just, it's not something I'm looking for, so I can't, like, catch it in time, you know? Happened to me once, besides today. There is one time I changed animations on instead of setting my battle style, and I promptly lost the run. But, because I just died to wait. But I've never done the menu correctly and also picked the wrong option. Did lose my running style. Shouts to being old. I got to feel old a lot of GDQ. Actually, you know what I get to feel old? It's something I can't talk about. I felt old at the Secret Project, I'll say that. I think I was the second oldest person there. GDQ, I had a couple people older than me. T-Pat's older than I am. Keys is older than I am. Who is the oldest? I can't say. Like the one person I shouldn't say. Yeah, it was one of the other people. I think everyone was within 10 years of each other. But considering we're all 20 to 30, that's not that much. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, it was a fun time though. But yeah, GDQ I was usually middle of the pack depending on the group I was with. All right, that's not a bad fog route. Nice. Hope you liked the live experience. Yeah, the music didn't catch me going to Celestic, I think was the issue. I will fix it. It may have messed up before that, but at least the music was correct, I believe. Going up to the defog route. I don't know if defog route has the same... So... Yeah, because the music is... There's one music that's the same for 210 and 210 and 215. That's the route above Solaceon and the rain route. That music is the same. And it depends on if those are also the same as the fog route. Then it may not have caught going to Celestic. If the fog route's supposed to be different, then it should have switched when it got to the fog route. Okay. Well, I mean, it could be something as simple as, like, the colors on my capture card are a little bit different or something. I need to swap my items. I forgot to. Yeah, for sure. Oh my god. I hit B. I thought I found an auto use item button. And was like, excuse me? I have not played Fall Guys in like a year. I want to. I want to go back. A lot of people have been talking about it, so it made me want to come back, but...
Thank goodness it's Friday.
Hi, Edgy. Thank you for the 17 months. Yeah, last time I played, it was before they added new games. Oh, really? I watched a couple runs from the crowd. The problem with the crowd, which I'm not suggesting they should have done it differently. I think the way they did it was correct. It just kind of sucks a little bit of the fun out. Because everyone was so distant, you couldn't really watch with groups. But one thing they do at every GDQ, and it's super good, is they always have it so the TVs in the hotel, one of the channels is like an event channel, and that channel will always have the stream on it. And so what we would do is we would like go watch a run in our rooms. I was down there for some things. I was down for the end of Emerald. I watched the Pathless with T-Pat. We were just killing time. I caught a couple other things. I don't remember what. Nothing like in particular. Most of the runs I wanted to watch, I either haven't watched yet. Like I want to watch the Vice City run. I want to watch Spyro. Or I watched from my room. Hey, Phoenix. Thanks for the good luck. Appreciate it. So yeah, like, I totally get why they did the chairs the way they did, and I'm not suggesting they should have done it differently. It's just, it did make, like we watched the pre-show and, like, the first half of the opening run from the crowd, and it was just, like, there was a group of, like, 10 of us, and we took up, like, half of one of the sides because there was just so much room in between us. And it was impossible to talk to anybody unless you were in the chair directly next to them. Hit through, hit through. Good. All right. The one bad thing that can happen on that fight. I like this fight a lot. I like the way this fight's routed. It's really fun. Cool kids only. We're almost ahead, guys. Mars 2. I died on Mars 2. Well, I died to the double fight before Mars 2, but it's on the Mars 2 split. That is a decent chunk of time save. Yeah. Oop. This is not a safe pass, but we're gonna do it anyways. Okay. I mean, to be fair, that black belt can kill your run. The one I just faced. It always gets a turn. It's 1 and 4 to use Iron Tail, and it's 4 and 16 to KO you. That Steelix is also a range, and I believe can also KO you. That one's a 14 and 16 range, so it's a very good range, but it is a range. The next Steelix would be the same range, but I'm going to Grass Knot it and just eat the super effective text on the Onyx. Not this Onyx, the next one. Steelix always a threat. Oh, this is the best gym in the game. It's funny because it's like when you think of, at least for me, when I think of like, okay, these are the gyms that I'm gonna die to, it's like, I could definitely die to Fantina. I've died there plenty of times. Obviously, Wake. Maylene can be a problem. Rourke can absolutely be a problem, right? So you're like worried about all these gyms. Candace sometimes can be a problem. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, Byron's gym. Like, the whole gym sucks. It's not just the Byron fight. Most of those, it's just the actual fight that matters. But this one, it's like the whole freaking gym. I think I'm gonna revive Potion the Chimchar. Oh no! I had, the first time I was doing the Stealth Rock fight, I just didn't Stealth Rock. I did the taunt, flamethrower, and then it was like, shit. So I ended up having to do a mix of the old fight and this fight. Inferno. Oh, I didn't, I need to swap him to the front. That is actually a very important step. Yeah, old fight was, you'd still have the battle style set from Wake, so it'd be on switch. So you would KO the Bronzor with Shadow Ball, switch out, break Sturdy on Steelix, die, and then Kadabra would KO Steelix in one hit, and then it would have to X defend, Grass Knot, X special, Grass Knot. Because Grass Knot does about half, but the Bastiodon has a Citrus Berry. So it ends up being about the same amount of turns. It's the same amount of turns as an optimal, like, if both fights go optimally, it is the same amount of turns. I'm not in Blaze. I'm an idiot. Yes, the masking was very enforced. But the thing is, it was enforced, but only in event spaces. There was really nothing, like, they couldn't enforce it outside of event spaces. So, like, a lot of people would wander to the hotel without masks on. But in order to get into the stream room, or really, like, anywhere on that floor of the hotel, I mean, I'm not sure. I'll look. Yeah, that's, if somebody had noticed it, they would have been stopped and asked to put a mask on. Hell, when Shen showed up, he was wearing a mask, but it was not one of the approved ones, and somebody came over and had him, like, switch masks, like, right then and there. Like, they took it very seriously. Yeah, very bad luck that it was just the first picture they sent was like that. All right, I need to remember to actually repel here. I haven't forgotten to repel. I forget all the time to teach Dazzling Gleam, but I never forget to repel. Wilton's not that bad of a fight, T-Pat. You just get super unlucky on it. Like, it's a fight to be concerned about, but it's not at all, I would consider, a major run killer. Just a skill issue. There's something else to do in this menu, isn't there? Other than swap the Pokemon? I don't know. I swear there's something else to do in that menu. I mean, you're supposed to heal. Thank you for doing the stupid... The Poketch, like, wouldn't change strains on me. Oh, right, the battle style changed. That's what it was. And then heal if you're under 17 health, I think it is. Oh! Oh, these extra 10 steps are fine. Alright. Odd 20. Odd 20 is really good. That's like one of the lowest ones I've had. Thank you. I wanted to wait here. I'm not cold or anything. I'm a little bit worried about my repel steps. I might drop repel and re-repel. I think I would be perfectly fine. If I, like, don't take any extra steps, I bet I'm, like, perfect. But I'll drop and reapply. Best place to drop and reapply is the same way I did at GDQ. Just to actually... Alright, I know what I'll do. Actually, look at my steps. Yeah, exactly. I wish I could repel on the fly to Saturn. Like, that would be the ideal, but you can't. It just doesn't line up correctly. Alright, so I'm going to drop here. And then just reapply here. Come on, items. Alright, see you later, Grizzly. Also enjoy the lurk caves. I think it was 35 was the number. I'll see it here. did that kind of wrong, but it worked. Yeah, that was basically perfect. I'm a little bit worried it's going to be 34 because I had to go down a slightly and then over. Double fight in Verity has no music. That's fine. I think the double fight in... Now that you say double fight, I think the double fight in Veilstone also had no music. Maybe not. I feel like there was... Oh, no, never mind. It was the Galactic fight in Celestic that we have established was broken. No, we're good. I was like, I know something had no music. I thought it was a Galactic fight. It was. Alright, between the repel stuff for getting the rare candy, we did lose a bit of time because we were ahead decently at Byron before I forgot to split. But that's fine. Look at the time save we have on this fight. Right. So I'm going to be a little bit slow, and I'm going to do the repel at 34 instead of 35. Only because I'm a little bit worried I'm going to lose a step because of that thing. Honestly, no music here is fine. Makes it kind of fun. I did kind of recently. I don't think I've ever added steps. Wait, so why do we not lose a step because of this trainer? Because we walk in front of them. Not that I think you're wrong. I think you're correct. I just... It is kind of strange. Yeah. No, I definitely believe it. Held item is what I want. I want to... Seven left is fine. Alright, see you later, Fizz. Thanks for the good luck, and hope you enjoyed the stream. Okay. I'm watching... I pulled up May's stream after T-Pad told me about the ping. Why does every fucking Alpha Sapphire runner get minus special attack on their Latias? Every single one. It's like... It's not that common to have minus special attack. And it happens every fucking time. It's so cursed. That's too early, but whatever. Actually, no, this is about when I want it to go. 72 special attack stat is... At least it's 31 IV, right? At least it's one of the 31s. It should be 16% to be minus special. And I feel like it happens way too often, specifically to Latias. I feel like Latios, not nearly as much minus special. Nice mist, thank you. Haven't seen mist in a while. Good. Getting mist versus avalanche doesn't really change the fight very much. It just eases your mind a little bit because you less likely to die to the Sneasel if it decides to attack. I don't believe so. It's got avalanche. Avalanche probably could do some numbers to you, but Metal Claw does... I know you can live a dig from full, and dig is the most power attack it has. Not polishing the badges. I saw somebody in the chat after I beat Vokner. Somebody in the chat was like, "You should polish the badges." I want to be like, if I did, you wouldn't be able to see it. WG means wise glasses. I always forget to swap in the wise glasses before the Saturn fight. So that is me trying to remind myself. It never works, for what it's worth. I still forget every now and then, but... I think she could. It's, the requirements for partner are a bit weird. Because there are some things that they don't, like, explicitly say that they are looking for that they actually are. One of them that makes sense when you think about it, but like isn't explicitly stated. Thanks, Phoenix, by the way. Is so, well, it's not explicitly stated because like the dashboard is weird. So the path to partner thing shows you your average viewers over the last 30 days. And so as soon as that hits 75, it's like you're good to go on applying. But what they're actually looking for is they want every stream in the last 30 days to have 75 or more average viewers. So it's not an average of 75. They want every stream to be an average of 75, which means your average actually has to be even higher. Because by nature, if your average is 75, that means you have some lower and some higher. Yeah, every day without raids. Without raids, without embeds. So like, one thing I did during my path to partner was I took myself off of Speedruns Live. So that way I wouldn't get all those embed views. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I remember probably my most successful raid, and because like whenever I raid, I'm not a very like hype streamer, obviously, and whenever I raid, it's always just sort of like sending my viewers. I don't actually like shit up their chat with random stuff. But the most successful one I ever did was the stealth raid to Etchy. Yeah, Etchy had like 100 viewers and we're like, all right, Etchy's pushing for partner. We have like 200 viewers. All of us are going to go over there, but we're not going to raid because it won't count. And like actually a decent amount of people went over. It was actually really nice. If May is still on this disaster of a run when I finish, I'll raid her. That was a fun one. Like I said, I don't do raids very often just because, I don't know, raids make me feel awkward. It's the same idea with like the follower alert thing. I don't like getting called out for raids. I'd rather just send the viewers and be on my way. I don't like attention, which is bizarre to say considering I was just on stage in front of a bunch of people, streamed to 80,000 people. But it's true. Well, yeah, I was gonna say her run's a disaster because of the Latias. It actually looks like a decent run. Like, she's actually on PB pace. I know she has some time save late game. So I think, assuming she gets through the Latias section, I think she's in good shape. Love me a good lurker stream. All I do on Twitch is lurk in streams. I like never chat. I get to the point where like this happened as recent as like yesterday. I'll be watching somebody and like I'll want to start talking, but I like don't want to interrupt conversations or something. And so I'm just sort of sitting there like, I'll wait my turn, and then it never happens. I'm a very, very awkward person. Alright, I learned from the run on Friday that I should heal this. I do chat in May's stream, that is true. I'll sometimes chat in like Keys' stream. I'll say hi to T-Pat. Like, I sat in Josh's chat all day today. I did like 2 things. When also streaming, yeah. Dude, Barrier Blitz was so funny. I forgot how much I chatted during Barrier Blitz. I always used to like when watching the like red tournament, for example, I'd always be like, oh, these racers, I wish they would just focus on the run. I mean, I never actually like would say it, but I'd be like, oh man, like they should focus on their run. They shouldn't be chatting in chat. And then I like did the exact same thing in Barrier Blitz. It's so easy to just be like, oh, I'm fine, I'll just start chatting. I don't think I lost any time because of it. It's just a funny thing where it's like you don't realize how easy it is to do until you're actually doing it yourself. Oh, I have a Saturn split on my, I have a Cyrus 1 and then a Saturn split on my music splits, but I guess not on these splits. I mean, true, Jordan. Talking during like Rival 5 or something. It's like, what are you doing? That's fine. I got slightly worried that I shadow balled by accident. Cyrus music is very good. Yes, Cyrus, your music. Damn. Speed tie. I don't know what the Sneasel has other than Icy Wind, because I think it'll always go for Icy Wind because of the speed tie. Oh my god, I get to see green. My first green split of the run. We've been ahead for the last 3 splits, but none of them have been green. I have to itch my nose so badly. Ugh. Alright. Dude, I was so worried. So, something that happens to me sometimes is if it's like too dry in the house or whatever, I'll like randomly get a bloody nose. Morning of the BDSP run, the Glitchless run, I wake up and have a bloody nose, and I'm like, oh no, if this happens again in like 4 hours, I am so dead. Because it would have been like in the mask, and like it would have just, oh man, it would have been gross. Metal Claw, Home Claws, and Beat Up. I think the AI really doesn't like to use Beat Up if it's the only Pokemon left in its party. Actually, does Beat Up at least hits once, right? If it's the only Pokemon alive. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, because like in VGC it hits 4 times for Justified. That makes sense. I'm so nervous for Spear Pillar right now. Oh, when I said I had time to save on M and J double, apparently not. By the way. Thanks for Leia. Appreciate it. Oh, geez, yeah. I've definitely had stuff like that happen. Honestly, I haven't... I used to get bloody noses as a kid. And then I stopped for, like, probably 15 years. And then I've randomly started getting them again within the last maybe 2 years. Yes, Pokenerd. I want to risk this so bad, but I know better. I mean, they did give him, like, smart items. The Quick Claw on Crobat is very strange, but the Wackenberry and then the Chopal, like, make sense as items. They just should have given Weavile a different dark move. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think the item choices make sense. It's the move is weird. I got, like, mega stuck. I got, like, stuck in the wall, I think. That was super weird. I'm gonna have to look at that again. Oh, yeah, that cliff sucks. Oh. That was, like, semi-calculated, but also very risky. That was all safe until I made it unsafe. TBH. That was a good pass. All right. Dude, I'm so mad. During the GDQ run, so I died to the double fight in Veilstone, right? And I was like, I'll pick up the rare candy and Coronet. Forgot to grab the rare candy. Remembered as I was going up the thing, so I went back down, grabbed the candy, forgot to use it. I was supposed to use it right before M&J, and I just completely forgot to. What song is playing right now? Oh, it's about to not be that song. I don't recognize it. I mean, I recognize the song, but I don't recognize it in context of the game. I'm sure it does make sense. I'm just not. It's Mount Coronet. Interesting. Oh, does the outside have a different theme than inside? Because I think that's the outside theme, and I'm just not used to hearing it go for as long as it did. It does? Okay, yeah. That's what it is. I like the theme better, so I'm perfectly okay with it being inside if it's not supposed to be. I just, yeah. I just couldn't remember it. Yeah, I like it. Thumbs up from me. Do you guys like my sweatshirt? I got it a few days ago. And we went to Mall of America on Saturday. And Jess and I we like getting like t-shirts or like coffee mugs or whatever from places we go. So we both got sweatshirts. And then I had dinner with my boss. And so my boss picked us up at the mall. We went to get food and then we went back to the hotel. Just left the bag in his car. So we bought it and like maybe 2 hours later, we just didn't have it anymore. So he had to drop it back off at the hotel, which was very nice of him. But I was like, I'm an idiot. Oh yeah, no, that was very kind of him. It's funny, that's the third time I've met him in person. That's the second time I've met him at a GDQ. I've only met him in person once for actual work. I didn't get the... I didn't get the shift down, is what I was gonna say. Not many of them know that I do it as like a hobby like this. They know of the event that I go to, but I don't think any of them really know. Well, that's not true. Some of them did. Some of them have been here before. But I don't really talk to a lot of them anymore. Just because reorganizations and people have left the company and people have all that kind of stuff. Man, I have to heal the, like, 10 HP I took from Icy Wind now. I'm excited for it. They don't know I'm a GDQ headliner. Sounds like it changed. Legendary appears. That's cool. Catastrophe, here we go. I like this theme a lot. It's not a good one to just listen to, but it's a good theme for the moment. Like, I wouldn't put it on while I'm doing like work, you know. Let's go. I'm gonna try Fury. I can't make promises, but I'm gonna try my hardest. Alright, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I have time during the fight to fix it. Nice crit. I can't fix it? No! Interesting! Interesting! Also kind of interesting. I wish you didn't do that. But super interesting that I got payback into Munchlax. I've never seen that before. I've had it attack Munchlax with like extra sensory, but not ever payback. Alright, so best case scenario is Body Slam. Like, target the Golbat, Munchlax. No. Alright, we need to rely on some good luck here. Golbat first is strange. And it kind of fucks things up because now the Skuntank is out with the Perugly. So we do this, and we basically hope that the Skuntank either targets the Munchlax, which it did. Perfect. Alright, we should win. Safely. That's like as good as you can ever hope for from this fight. Not perfect by any means, but it's as good as you can hope for. I've had better fights, trust me. T-Pad is kind of seething right now. I'm sorry, T-Pad. Yeah, like, if I was doing a run and was told this is the M&J you're gonna have, I would be very happy. It can go better, but like that is a really good M&J. As good as you can hope for, realistically. I'm getting a lot of golds this run. I think it's just like clean menus, clean movement. Make it spear pillar? Okay. This is non-turbo now. Sitting here doing this. Oh, you did? Ah. I'll have to watch your run. So I like skipped around your run, but I didn't watch any specific moments. Angie Cyrus. So I talked a little bit to T-Pad about this, but I think Psyshock turn 1 on the Gyarados is better than Psychic. Because normally, if you crit Psychic, it never KOs the Gyarados and always knocks it into heal range. If you crit a Psyshock, it always knocks into heal range or KOs. So I think it's better in general to go for the one that could KO. And a non-crit Psyshock never knocks into heal range. Good. Give me dig turn 1. Dig. Good. You live a crit, too. Because that did under 80. Shiny time for PB. Oh, God. Every time I walk into the Palkia fight, I have a mini panic because I didn't save. I'm like, what if I don't have a Pokeball? What would I do if I didn't have a Pokeball? I would try to do the run with the shiny. I would try to do the run with the shiny, and then whenever the run either finished or died, I would save off the shiny. Yeah, true, you don't even have a Pokeball. Alright, PB is by no means free from here, but we do have a little bit of weight lifted off our shoulders getting past Spear Pillar. Alright, let's see how the Palkia is. Perfect. Uh, 31 attack, 31 special attack, 31 speed. Those are the only two stats I saw. 176, 101. I have to stall a little bit. I'm not supposed to do that. That's fine. I have plenty of repels. It's just going to stop me in my movement soon. It is quiet. Hey, was this the quiet Chimchar? Did I get all 3 quiets? That's really funny. I don't know what the Machop was. We could figure it out. If we go back and check the stats, we could figure it out. Call should be any second, probably. Or not. Ideally, the repel is up here, so I'm gonna hope that is the case. I need to play it safe with this, the 3 spinners left. I have to play safe for. I cannot just YOLO them like I have been doing lately. I've been so bad with them. I got punished at GDQ. I did hit the Pikachu spinner at GDQ, which was bullshit. I was totally past her, but it caught me diagonally. Yeah, that one's not too bad. Better than definitely better than the Pikachu one. Maybe he is worth YOLOing. Think it's worth? I think so. It should die to like a Psy Shock, right? It almost certainly dies to a Psy Shock, because the other one dies to a Shadow Ball. Or Dazzling Gleam, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely gonna die to a Psy Shock. Went down the wrong pipe. No, I wasn't trying to go into LinkedIn. So we actually have the music in the game turned off. It makes it faster for speedrunning. However, it makes it very boring. And so what people used to do was they would just play whatever soundtrack they wanted to just fill the empty space. However, Fury ST in the chat actually created this tool that will detect where you are in the game using screen recognition and play the correct music. And so that's why you'll hear background music, but you won't hear certain things like fanfare or jingles or stuff like that. Yeah. It's very cool that it has been created, because it's something we kind of, like, as soon as music turned off was found, we've, like, joked about it for a while, and just nobody got around to doing it. And then Fury came through. Yeah, I will say, I was definitely going to be a proponent of doing with music on as like a main leaderboard. This is more fun than music on, in my opinion. I'm not saying it'll be the perfect solution for everyone, but the fact that it's fast and we still have the music makes it good for me. And the best thing is, it's going to be a bit before I set it up, but the best thing is you can swap out the music. So I could run this with Oras music. I could run this with Sword and Shield music if I want. I'm looking at my splits for now, yeah. I'll stop at Wagner. How much faster? About 8 minutes is my estimate. With only the Oras drought theme. Could run with Chrono Cross music, yeah. You basically just have to have music files or videos. And enough of them to cover everything. Why is the music bugged? It's not really bugged. It's basically all of those jingles and stuff are tied into the music rather than something like sound effects. And so think about like animations, right? When we turn animations off, the game doesn't play the animation and doesn't wait for the animation to finish. And it's kind of the same deal with the jingles. The game, we turn music off, the jingles don't play, so the game doesn't wait for the jingle to finish. So it just gets overall skipped. Channel reward for music choice? Could totally do that. Hey, Phoenix, thank you, thank you. The Eevee thanks you as well. The Sobble was already thrown today. Actually, give me a second. You'll be able to see it. I like doing this one from the bottom. If he ever spins. Alright, this was supposed to be the faster way to do this. Hate everything. I'm wasting so much time here. Thank you. Alright, that's good. We're not throwing the Eevee. So if you look, in the laundry basket behind me, you can see the Sobble. We decided that that spinner was okay to YOLO. He only has one Pokemon. Throw the mic stand. That's true. I probably should have played it a little bit. Well, I don't know. I probably should have played it a bit safer, yes. But hindsight, yada yada. So W, exactly. It was the right choice because I did not get punished. Now there's one more spinner, and I am not YOLOing her. Dang, already losing time to gold. Feels mega bad. Realistically, only losing 5 seconds. She's obviously not a spinner. I like how I almost YOLO'd her at GDQ. After waiting for like 2 seconds, I almost went. And as I was going, she spun. Yes, I will stop looking at my splits for now. 1:15 ahead. Okay. I don't know what kind of time save I have in the Elite Four, if any. Also, I wasn't kidding about the comment I made during the GDQ run, by the way. I legitimately don't know how you're supposed to go through this route, like what the correct way through the route is. All right, splits are hidden. Can someone confirm for me the splits are still going on the stream? It's just they're not, I can't see them. Still going? All right, cool. Sometimes when you hide it, it like will stop moving also. So I have it hidden behind. I always pop out my webcam source so I can have my camera near chat because I like looking at myself when I talk because it's a weird feeling to have a camera on you but not be able to see yourself. Thank you, Disposable Hero. Appreciate it. Love the name, by the way. Come on, come on, come on. Now, do the spinner zones count for surfing? I wonder. I wonder if there's a way to test that. Yeah, same. What time is it? 9 o'clock? Jess and I were gonna watch a show, but probably not. Oh yeah, but a lot of the games, like, that's always gonna be the case. But like, even the early games that are super optimized are far from that. Like, a lot of them take risks, but they're very calculated risks. Oh, do they? I don't think I've ever noticed it. I think you fight a few more ace trainers, so we could check. Yep. Man, I even have one psychic left over. The one psychic left over is because I started Psy-shocking the Gyarados turn 1. Ether Elixir, is that correct? I can never get by that one. Even if I'm not on the bike, I can't get by that guy. Or that particular rock. Caterkeys or Bulbashen? Probably Bulbashen. Mudkeys, definitely. Keys the Kip. That's what it is. Definitely wins, though. Right? It's an Ether for Surf, and then an Elixir for Palkia after Bertha. And it's Ether after the rival fight. Did I take no damage from all of the... So the music is not being played from the game. The music is currently being played from an external software. So it's using a lot of things like screen transitions to determine what music to play. So something like battles, it doesn't transition to the battle music until it identifies on the screen, yes, you are doing a battle. I believe we do. Yeah, we've only had, I think we've had 2 issues on this run. Spear Pillar and then the getting to Celestic part. Other than that, it's gone really well. Oh my god, my phone is telling me it's bedtime. Not bedtime yet. It'd be a good one. No, my phone is weird. It like tells me it's bedtime an hour before it wants me to actually go to bed. But like one thing it does is when it becomes bedtime, it turns my phone on to do not disturb, so I don't get any notifications anymore. I like the feature because I don't have to think about putting it on D&D, but if I'm not going to bed yet... That was weird. Alright, next fight is the scariest fight of Victory Road. We can still win. If Kadabra goes down, we can still win. It just becomes a little bit slower. $15 minutes? Oh, I kind of like that. One thing I did do, and I haven't turned it off yet, is, so for the BDSP, for the any percent run, I needed to have access to a timer, so that way I could do the out-of-bounds movement. And so I used my phone timer, and just started it as soon as I hit out-of-bounds. But I needed to make sure my phone didn't go to sleep during the run, because I can't unlock the phone easily. Because I have my mask on and my, that's an unfortunate crit. I have my mask on and my phone, doesn't like it when I have my mask on for the Face ID. And so I literally just have my phone open and just on for the entire time. Oh, that's a good crit. I had my phone on and open the entire run, so I had to change it so my phone never locked, which means my phone currently doesn't lock. Unless I like manually lock it. And I need to change that setting back. This is going to lose me actually a decent amount of time. I mean, ultimately the goal is sub 320. It's not necessarily sub this run that I'm comparing against. But that is a lot of time I'm going to lose. Probably should have healed Palkia while I was in that menu. I didn't think to. Alright. Here we go with Elite Four. Well, not yet. Soon. Oh, I don't need to shift down there. It's fine. Also, what's up, throw shot? No breadsticks. No. We're using the Palkia. Just not named breadsticks. Breadsticks in our heart. Yeah, downshifting to stop. I'm not getting on the bike for the rest of the run, so downshifting there is pointless. All right, Barry. Why only Palkia? It's all I need. Any more Pokemon and it's slower because they'll gain experience, they'll level up. And if I'm not using them, it doesn't matter. And then they'll also appear in the Hall of Fame, which again is just time loss if I'm not using them. Don't know if that's enough full restores. True. U-turn is interesting. Rapidash, Mega Horn. Yeah, I should do another full restore. Or not full restore, sorry. Good avoid. 9. There are 6 plus 2, 8 that I should have to do. 9 if I'm unlucky. I'm gonna get U-turned again. Nope. That is too low. Unfortunate. I've never had the withdraw fight. I've known the withdraw fight is possible, but I've never had it. So Snorlax, Heracross, Rosalia, Roserade in the last 3. Oh, I wonder how much time I'm losing here. Probably like 30 seconds. I was like a minute 20 ahead. Minute 15. If I lose 30, I'm 45 ahead. I should still be 317-ish pace, but it's going to be tight. Probably not going to happen. Dude, the first rival fight does that too. It like restarts. I always do that menu outside of the Elite Four, just in case I didn't actually unequip the choice specs, by the way. That is literally the reason I do it there. Such a small thing, but it is important. Thanks for the good luck, Spider Seed. 5 fights left. Oh, don't start it off that way. Bug buzz me again. Good. And skip toxic. Or skip the full restore. There's no toxic. Not yet, T-Pat. I'm not looking at my splits. Just a warning. I got KO'd on the golem crit earthquake, which is why I presumably lost time on that split. Ooh, that would have been bad. A little bit too early for that. I think I could have been okay if I did it, but I would have had to really think about my usage. Fuck her up. Can you, like, double miss Toxic? That'd be swell. Nice crit. Toxic here. Good. I have to heal anyways, so... My defense is incredibly low. That did so much. Oh my god. Wait, I'm dead. Hang on. I X-speeded instead of X-defend. I need to X-defend on the golem. I'll live, but it's going to be an extra 2 turns. Over what it could have been. I'm an idiot. The good thing is I'm still faster after a rock polish, so I might get 2 rock polishes here. We're just going to play it safe. I think I would have lived one. 66. Yeah, I would have been fine. I fucked up. It's fine. I'm just gonna lose. I'm gonna lose time, but I'm alive, which is ultimately what is important. Again, the goal is not to beat the run I'm comparing against. The goal is to get sub 320. Alright, I don't want to know how far ahead behind whatever I am. Can somebody tell me, is my flint my gold flint? Am I going up against a gold flint or a normal flint? Gold, thank you. I mean, unfortunate, but also thank you. Yeah, it's like 302, 302 or something. Something like that. Miss. Good. Oh, I'm supposed to X defense first. Mirror Coat, come on. Okay. Yeah, math is still banned at GDQ to this day. All right, I lost a turn over a perfect fight. It's because I did the X items in the wrong order. Do I have Dazzling Gleam damage right now? 153. Okay. I do. Okay. All right, so 60 is the max roll for my special defense. And I have 83 health. So I live 3 attacks. And I'm good with 1x speed. Presumably. Okay. 1. Two. Three. Let's go. All right. Should be 1 turn more than perfect. Took 1 turn longer than perfect, which means I should lose at most 10 seconds on this split. And Cynthia is free as long as we heal. And I will heal from whatever health I'm at. Yeah, I have to heal from this health. Definitely not healing. It's impossible to die. Awkward ass repel step. This run was actually... This run had a little bit of a rough start and was really good through the middle, and then I fucked everything up in the Elite Four. Between... Whatever. Between Victory Road and the Elite Four, this run fell apart. Nice. Seeing Dark Pulse is really nice because there's no special defense drop possibility. Which is the one thing that makes that fight a little bit confusing. Not confusing, it just makes it a little awkward. God, I wish I had turbo just so I could just hold a button here. Now don't fuck up, yeah. Unless I do something like start spamming antidotes when I'm not poisoned, I literally can't lose. The game won't let me pick the wrong move. It's sad. It could have been probably a 317. I think this is a 318. I don't think I lost over a minute and a half. Probably lost. Golem probably lost me between 30 and 45 seconds. And the Elite Four stuff was probably about 30 seconds, maybe 45. This could be a 319. I don't know. I think it's a 318 though. All right, let me pull up the splits. Oh, sick. Okay. That's actually a low 318. I golded Aaron? Why? Wait, I golded Lucian? All right, I've definitely had faster Lucians. That's some BS. Bertha didn't lose me as much time as I thought. I thought I was going to lose closer to 30, 35, 40. Why did Flint go wrong? Oh, because I did the X items in the wrong order. Whatever, I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. 318. We can do Brilliant Diamond now. Thanks for the GGs, everyone. T-Pat, I just won't submit it for a while. Fine. I haven't had a main series record in a while. I know there's a faster time. It's not on leaderboards. So. For various reasons. I golded the ending. Let's go. I gotta get the screenshot with the Drifloons in it. 3:12 game time? Damn. Yeah, I mean... I don't know. That was a good run. It had... Definitely had its moments where it should have been better. Yeah. That whole section there. And then the rappel fuck up as well. Wait, what else happened on that one? What else happened on this one? On the Saturn split? I remember it being two things. It wasn't just the repel. I don't know. Oh my... Dude, alright, listen. Is this the first time somebody has gotten first place in a non-Generation 1 Pokemon game where they had animations on for a fight? Because that happened this run. I got my screenshot. Y'all remember Rival 3 where we got to see what Shockwave and Psyshock look like? Because I turned the battle style back to Switch but accidentally turned on animations at the same time. That was fun. Got to see Double Team and X-Item, Shockwave and Psyshock. Lost 20 fucking seconds because of it. This is a much better... So, my Gardenia split is actually really good, but the splits leading up to it are much better to go up against. I guess the Rourke split is bad. The Rival 1 split's nice at least. Yeah, we turned on animations for a fight. And then we didn't die on Mars 2. So we saved a lot of time. That's cool, though. I'm glad I finally got that time. Because, like, okay, so real talk for a second. When I was getting ready for BDSP, I did some offline attempts one day. This was, like, before I started, like, doing it every day on stream. I was still doing, like... I was doing other stuff. What was I even doing back in May? I don't remember. I did, like, a Let's Go stream. I did, like, an AOP run one day. I don't know. But it was before I started, like, really prepping for GDQ. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do some offline runs. And I was doing some offline runs, and I couldn't get anything going. I was getting, like, 49 Gardenias. I was getting just really bad times. I was doing some Chrono Cross. That's what I was doing. Yeah, that's right. And I was like, I'm going to do this for GDQ, and then I'm going to struggle, like, to grind it afterward. And then I did some music runs, and then I did, like, the non-music attempts a little bit, and I got some decent paces. And then I got the 318 with turbo, and I was like, oh man, I'm actually capable of this. I, like, legitimately didn't think I was capable of a sub 320. Even though my PB was, like, a 321, I was like, I can't get a sub 320. But then being forced to play it for GDQ really, really helped. So over my non-turbo time, this is actually over 3-minute PB. No, it's a 2.5-minute PB. Never mind. I'd have a 320, not a 321. That's exciting, though. And then we'll go for BDSP as well. I just want sub 320. I don't care what the time is beside that. The 318.30 is my turbo PB. So if you go to leaderboards and change it to Shining Pearl with turbo, you'll get that. But yeah, that's exciting.